As a real estate entrepreneur, you get pulled in so many directions. There's lead generation, there's nurturing, there's showing homes, sending out offers, and so much more. And too often, we real estate agents get into the habit of only reacting rather than being proactive. And very rarely do we actually take a step back and assess if what we're doing is actually working. And while the answer of what's working or not can be quite complex, it's not impossible to find out. And the easiest way to know if your efforts are actually working or not is by tracking your numbers, which every single real estate agent, regardless of when they started the business, should be doing, which is exactly what we're covering today. I'm going to share with you the numbers that you'll want to track. I'm going to share with you how to schedule it so you don't lose momentum. And then I'm also going to show you how to analyze and pivot. So first, let's decide on what numbers we need to track. Deciding on what numbers or what metrics you're going to track is so vital. It's the difference between actually making this work for you versus wasting a lot of time. Because if you pick numbers or metrics that really have nothing to do with your real estate business or will help you make changes to adapt in your real estate business, then it's just not worth it. So when it comes to the numbers and the metrics, let's break this down into categories. From a business perspective, look at it very simply. Look at the income that you're generating, the expenses that you have, and the profit that you're making. Now, yes, you can go so much deeper into this, and I highly encourage you to do so. However, let's start off with the basics. And the easiest way to implement these business metrics is to get yourself a business checking account, give yourself a business credit card, and then start uploading all of your information onto QuickBooks. QuickBooks is exactly what I use in all of my businesses, and it's very simple to use. Now, you'll want to be monitoring these numbers fairly regularly, but at minimum every single month. Now, when it comes to sales, the metrics to track are going to be your closed sales volume, the number of closed deals, the average price point, and the average commission charged. These numbers are going to let you know how you're performing from a revenue standpoint, from the sales component. Now, these numbers are so easy to track. In fact, most of them are going to be on your MLS, or your broker's going to have this information for you. But either way, the reason that you want to track these numbers yourself every single month is because you're able to make decisions from that information. As an example, as you're tracking these numbers, let's say you start focusing in on your average price point, and you notice that your average price point is $350,000. Well, having that knowledge is going to serve you in multiple ways. If you want that number to increase, well, maybe we should start farming areas in neighborhoods that are actually higher than that price point. And you're going to be able to see from month to month, year to year, how you can improve that average price point. But if you're never strategic, you're just going to take the business that comes. Now, don't mishear me. I'm not saying don't take that business that's coming to you, but the moment that you get clarity on where it is that you're going, the more that it's going to come to you. Now, before we get to our next metric, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jaime Resendiz, and I help real estate professionals exponentially grow their business through actionable content. And I'm on a mission to help reduce the over 80% failure rate for real estate agents. So if you can hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, that's going to really help us out. And as you look at your conversion numbers or your conversion metrics, here's what you can look at. Track the number of leads, the lead source, the number of appointments, number of signed agreements, number of listed homes, and number of sold homes. This is going to let you know where you need to sharpen your game, because if you see that you're getting a ton of appointments but very few signed agreements from those appointments, well, there's something wrong. Do we need to change the expectation that we set whenever we make that appointment? Do we need to sharpen our listing presentation? Or do we need to take a look at something else? Again, by you tracking these numbers, it's gonna let you know where you can improve, which there's a few numbers here or a few metrics here that actually cross over into the marketing numbers. So let's look at those right now. From a marketing perspective, here's the metrics to consider. The amount that you're spending on advertising, the number of page visits, YouTube views, and any other marketing platform that you're using, the number of social media followers, friends, or subscribers, your email open rate, and your cost per lead. Again, the marketing numbers kind of work in tandem with the conversion numbers. But as you're tracking these marketing numbers, you start seeing the footprint that you have or the footprint that you don't have. By tracking your marketing efforts, you're going to get a lot of intel on where you need to be spending your time, energy, and resources. But what's even better, it's going to let you know where you shouldn't be spending your time, your energy, and resources. And something that most people won't tell you to track, and something that is actually the most valuable to track, is the effort that you're putting in. Because at the end of the day, that's something that you actually control. You may not control the YouTube algorithm. You may not control the amount of blog visits to a certain extent, but you can control the effort that you give. So track that effort. Track the number of days that you're working, the number of hours that you're working, the number of calls that you're making, the number of blog posts, YouTube videos, direct mailers, everything that you can think of. Whatever you're putting effort into, track that. However, you don't have to track all of them. Take the numbers that apply to you and your business. There's certain things that we just covered that may not apply to you altogether. You may not be doing YouTube videos. You may not be doing blogs, and that's okay. Make these numbers work for your specific situation. That's why it's important to have this awareness, for one, giving you some ideas for two, but three, the application into your business. Take me as an example. I don't cold call, so I don't track those numbers. There's no reason for me to do that. 99% of the business that I generate is coming from YouTube, whether it's agents that want to partner with me at the Agent First group to double their real estate business, which by the way, the link is down below if you want to check that out, or if it's buyers or sellers with all of our YouTube channels that we have in key markets where we're generating that type of traffic and attention. So for me, a lot of the numbers that I track are only YouTube based. I want to see the click-through rate. I want to see the impressions that we're getting. I want to see the amount of views that we're getting. I want to see that we're averaging over a certain amount of leads per day from each one of our channels. Those are the numbers that matter to me because that's how I built my business. It's an inbound funnel in everything that we've got going on. But for you, your thing might be cold calling, so track those numbers that make sense for you. All right, so now that we know what numbers and metrics we're going to be tracking, it's time for us to schedule when we're actually going to pull that data and start analyzing. Because it's one thing to say that you're going to be tracking these metrics, but it's another to actually schedule it on your calendar and do it. I honestly can't count the amount of times that I've tried to track something, whether that's YouTube, whether that's our blog, whether that's our leads, whether that's our whatever, and had really good momentum that first month, possibly that second month, but the following month, it absolutely slipped my mind. And then 1 month led into 2, into 3, and then I stopped tracking altogether. So don't let that happen to you. It's time for you to schedule this into your calendar and don't forget. So at first glance, you might be thinking, well, Jaime, it makes all the sense in the world to make it the first of the month, every single month, to be my tracking day. And although that sounds very obvious and very nice, it's actually not the case. There are some numbers that you won't have access to at the first of the month. As example, some deposits may not have come through, some expenses may not have been registered. Another example is if you're tracking YouTube, well, the views that you generate on your YouTube channel, those don't register immediately. It's a 48-hour lag time, so you don't get the numbers right then and there. So that's why I suggest if you're tracking your numbers monthly is to do it on the 3rd of the month. All of your trackable numbers should be in by then. Now, if you're tracking your numbers and metrics on a weekly basis, then go ahead and do it on a Sunday. That'll motivate you to tackle your upcoming week regardless if you hit your goals or you didn't. And by the way, don't get caught up on where you're gonna track these numbers. Simply use an Excel sheet and keep it moving. There's no perfect system to this, so just select a platform that's gonna allow you to put all of the information in one place, allows you to search, allows you to rank, allows you to filter out information. Just use Excel and that'll work. And the third step, which is actually the most important step, we've been doing step 1 and step 2 all to build up to this particular point. And that is analyze your numbers and adapt, meaning make changes that make sense based off of those numbers. For example, if you find that in 2 consecutive months, the amount of leads that you were generating per month dipped consecutively, then it's time to dig a little bit deeper. What's causing this drop in leads? Was it that you reduced the ad spend? Was it that a YouTube video that was really performing well stopped performing well? Did your blog stop ranking? What happened? I'll give you a very embarrassing example, but one that actually happened to us, so I feel comfortable sharing it with you. There was a time when my entire website was hijacked. There was a time where my entire website on the blog section was redirecting to some Amazon accounts or some crypto things because it was compromised. And the way that I was able to identify that my website was hacked was me looking at the numbers and noticing a significant drop in the amount of page visits. And now you may be thinking, well, Jaime, that's an obvious thing to identify. How did you not go to your website and see that your blog was hacked? Well, that's fair to say from the outside looking in, but when you're in creator mode and putting out all these pieces of content, you don't go directly to the website and look at it from the outsider's perspective. You're looking at it from the inside. So you're creating these posts from the inside and they're already scheduled to be released in the coming days and the coming weeks. So although pretty embarrassing, it's still not as obvious as you might think. Now it's just one extreme example, but there's tons of other decisions. There's other ways that we've been able to adapt based off of the numbers. It's helped us curate the next videos that we're going to make, the next blogs we're going to make, the next marketing campaigns that we're going to do. And as mentioned earlier, it's actually helped us identify things that we needed to stop doing. So by you tracking your numbers and tracking your metrics, you're able to cut out what's not working and identify where you need to go. But now I'm curious, what numbers are you currently tracking in your real estate business? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you want to see another video that actually helps you grow your business quickly, check out this video right here.